Checking the mic, 1, 2, 3, 1. Emarc and Amarc is on.
What?
Emarc and Amarc is on.
Who?
Tell your friends, tell your dog, tell your mom.
Tell what?
Emarc and Amarc is on.
Oh, hey mom. Emarc and Amarc is on.
Jason, welcome to our podcast.
In your bed, your hotel room.
In our hotel room.
I am wearing clothes, everybody, and everybody is clothed.
Well, can the camera see him?
Of course.
Okay, see?
Perfect.
They know you have
Good.
clothes on,
We
Jason.
kidnapped Jason off of the trade show floor. We said,
Now I'm a
hey,
little freaked out.
this is all of our first podcast in a hotel room, but it's going to be a great one.
It's
going
like
to be memorable.
dudes on a podcast in a hotel room. That, like, it goes like the Jerry Seinfeld one, right?
Yeah.
That's what you should like.
There's no alcohol.
Yeah, and there's
Should be a party.
Yeah,
Should be a party.
That's horrendous.
Where
Yeah,
are all the
we should have
chicks?
alcohol.
We need some of those in here, don't we? No? Okay.
Let's go find some.
Let's go find some.
All right, pause.
But okay, just a little background for everyone. So we are here at the Digital Agency Expo in New York. So we came out here just because we were served some really, really good Facebook ads, and we thought, why the heck not? Bo and Alex. We were speaking to them earlier, and they asked us, "How did you guys hear this?" And we told them, like, we're the ones that did those ads. So, so we're here, and it's been an incredible week thus far. Today is technically the first day of the conference, and so Jason is one of the keynote speakers at this conference, and he had some great stuff that he shared while we heard him speak. I got a chance to ask him a question while he was on the stage.
That was a great question.
Oh, thank you, dude. I mean, the struggle's real, man. And so thank you for offering your insight on that. So we have him on this show right now. And again, everybody, we are in a hotel room at the Marriott Sheraton. And we just asked him, dude, we have this podcast in our room. Want to come? And like a great pal, he's like, sure.
No. You were like, hey, would you want to come on my podcast? I was like, yes. And they're like, in our hotel room.
Too late now.
And I was like, crap, I already said yes.
So he did send off his address to 10 people, our address, our room, and everything, so people know where he's at in case
So
he
he's
doesn't
safe.
come back in
Yeah.
30
For now.
minutes. 30 minutes,
For now.
right?
Yeah.
So-
We're on a time clock.
So we
Time
are in.
clock.
We have to deliver the goods before people come busting on the doors. So Jason, welcome. Any regrets about saying yes thus far?
No, not yet.
Not.
But maybe. Who knows?
24 more minutes.
Who knows? Yeah.
So Jason, just kind of tell everybody a little bit about you.
Yeah, so Jason Swenk, I'm a husband and father of 2 amazing boys, so please don't kill me. And then, I've been in this agency life for over 20 years, 12 years running my agency and the rest of the years helping agency owners grow faster and just being a resource I wish I had. And I fell accidental into being an agency owner and fell accidental into advising agencies. So it's kind of weird how we all get here.
So when did you get started? How long have you been in this industry?
Yeah, I started in '99. I had a friend that looked just like Justin Timberlake when NSYNC was big, and I created a fake band called In Shit and a website.
That is
and
great.
And it got popular. And
Is this
then-
website still up today?
No, it was on a GeoCity domain, right? Like when that was big.
Yeah.
And people just offered me $500. Hey, do this website. And so we just started doing websites by accident. And then, 12 years later, we were designing everything for LegalZoom. We were the agency of record for Lotus Cars. So we were designing all their websites and microsites. And then we sold it 12 years later.
So that's a big gap to go from $500 website to being the agency
Lotus.
of record of Lotus. Did that just one night they just called
Yeah,
him and
it
said,
was
"Man,
just-
this $500 website you
was
made,
pretty
Jason,
much-
is badass. We need you to build
Pretty
me one
much.
of those."
It was just a killer $500 website.
Right. They all are. Always
Yeah.
are.
No, it took a lot of years and a lot of struggles and a lot of doing things and learning from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
The 500 turned into 1,000, 1,000 turned into 5,000, 5,000 turned into 10, and so on and so on. It just kept growing, and we kept raising our prices until people said no, and we didn't hear too many of them.
Yeah, right. So, I think people glorify entrepreneurship too much in the sense that they see it as this elaborate lifestyle. You get to wake up when you want, go to bed when you want. And that is just such bullshit because, I know we spend many late nights and I'm preaching to the choir here because I bet this is your story as well. So, do you want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah. You got to get I've been fired from every single job I've ever owned or had. Right, I worked for Wendys for a day.
One day.
One day.
What did you do in that one day?
I was horrible. It's totally off topic. But it's a funny story. So, I literally, when you get to work at Wendys, if you're lucky enough
to work
someday.
at
Wendys, they make you watch these videos, or they did in the early 90s, of how they make fries and how they make burgers, and they cartoon them. And so they're like, shake me, shake me, shake me. We shrink. And I'm laughing. And so my manager's already pissed off. And so he has me unload all the stuff from the freezer of the outdoor building to inside. So I needed to impress him. So I load up this dolly, which will come back and haunt me later on. I load up this dolly with so much weight it breaks the wheel. So then they put me on burgers. I start handing out burgers, and they start rushing me because they did a shitty job at training me. So I start giving out raw hamburgers. All the burgers came back. Here's a note: don't ever eat the chili. All those burgers go into a paint bucket, and that's what's made into the chili.
No.
Oh,
I'm a whistleblower.
Oh my gosh.
And then this is when they had super bars. So they literally put me on trash duty. This is where the dolly comes in. When they had the super bar, the bags are this big of all nacho cheese and all that stuff, and I'm carrying it out, and it breaks. I'm like, I'm not cleaning this. So I get a hose and I start spraying it. It's going over everybody. And then they're like, you're not fast food material. I was like, thank you. And that summer I was fired from 3 jobs. I was a tram driver, a towel boy, and Wendys.
Which has been your favorite job that you've been fired from?
A food server. Because I come out, I was giving someone crabs, and I was like, who got crabs? And this poor girl was like, I got crabs. And I started laughing.
Wrong type of crabs.
I started laughing, and I was fired from that. So, yeah.
So going back to...
So I had no options. So
you weren't employable.
I was unemployable, so I had no options. And I knew I wanted to do something more. I couldn't take direction. And I just worked my butt off for years and years until I figured out a lot of the right systems. Like a lot of people, they go, oh, Jason, you take off the whole summer now. Or you work from 9 to 3, Monday through Thursday. I'm like, you don't understand. It took me 20 years to get here. And people are selling courses or doing whatever. And they're like, you can get there overnight. I'm like, no, it takes decades, thousands of hours to just master you and to figure that out. Like you were asking me earlier, like, what's the secret of growing? There's no secret of growing. It's just you either grow or you die, and you figure it out along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there a common mistake you see most entrepreneurs make just across the board?
They give up too quick, right? They're not consistent. They're not patient. They go, I picked a niche. I was making fun of you guys. I was like, you pick a niche. And they're like, I picked a niche 3 weeks ago. I'm like, dude, you need to commit to it for years and just understand that audience and just attack it. And when you do that, who cares if you can't reach everyone? Like I interviewed Seth Godin on my podcast, and I was like, what's a brand? And he's like, well, a brand is something that you recognize or how you can recall someone. I said, well, give me more. Our audience wants more. And he goes, well, if Apple was Apple has a brand, we can all agree.
Yeah.
Right.
If they were creating a car, we would know what that car would be like. It'd be like sleek, one button, like the most expensive car in the world, right? Mm-hmm. But if we're in Sheraton right now, like if Sheraton was going to create a sneaker, we would never have a clue at what it would represent because we don't know what they believe they don't have a brand.
Yeah,
Sorry,
interesting.
And if Apple created a car too, the only downside would be when the updates came out.
It would crash.
Yeah. You may get fired from your job because my car wasn't done uploading to the cloud or something,
That's
right? So just going off of that, then what's the number one advice you would offer to entrepreneurs to help combat that mistake that they make?
Well, I think it's all about figuring out, what do you delegate, right? Most people delegate tasks, but you got to delegate outcomes. So if you figure out where you want to go, right? Like when we were talking this morning, you have to have that clarity of going, all right, I want to climb that particular mountain. Like you literally go, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. And if I want to climb Mount Everest, I have to have this strategy in order to get up there. I just can't just go walk up in flip-flops. Yeah. Like that's just suicide. And that's what a lot of us do in business. There's like, we're just around.
Right. And, in our entrepreneurship journey, we're in a town, by Chicago. Because if we said the real town, you'd be like, where the heck is that, right? But where Chicago's at. And, a lot of people in our town just, they're good people, but they don't understand the importance of kind of everything that we're going to be surrounded with this week, the importance of social media and having a brand and having a marketing team that actually markets. It's not just enough just to have a website in it, just all these things that encompass having a successful company. So what advice would you give to us, I suppose, how to help them understand the value in what we are proposing to them? Would you?
Well, it's not about pitching them, and it's not about convincing anybody of anything. It's about finding someone that just ran a marathon and they're thirsty. And you have this drink that can quench their thirst. It's like, stop going to someone that's doing shotguns out of or doing a keg stand. Like, they're probably not thirsty. Like, they're good, right? They probably don't want water. They want more beer.
Right.
So it's about finding out who is that specific audience. What's their biggest challenge? What could you provide to them to help them, rather than blanket everybody? And the other thing too is a lot of people think too small, and they just think, I'm going to just help out this small region. I'm like, think bigger. Like, this world with technology, you can reach people all over.
Yeah.
Like, I interview people all over the world. I have clients all over the world. They just, one of the requirements, they have to know English. Like, I don't do well when someone's translating for someone else. I've tried that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Right? So, you just think bigger.
And I think our time is coming up here, or do we still have some time?
We got a few more minutes.
Countdown.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes before that comes.
I really don't want your friends to panic. It's gonna look bad if we try to get other people here. He never made it out alive, so I don't.
That's right. It's already pushed out on my social media. They know.
We've got a question for you, Jason. What are you curious about right now? What are you just thinking about? What's coming up? Be curious about.
It's always like, if people are actually going to do the things that they learn at the conferences or that I talked about. Like, I think 95% of it went in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, I'm curious, what are people going to execute on? Because, most of the time, the sad part is people hear what they need to do, but they don't go do it.
So what are some tips on how to implement it?
It's like, you have to look for, I think too many people look for the small things first, because they want to accomplish a lot more, and they feel more accomplishment, rather than going after the big impact item. So if they think about, all right, well, Jason said pick a niche and or niche, whatever. I'm a redneck and from up north, so I'm so confused. So like, niche or niche, whatever. And so, like, if you pick that, like, people are like, well, should I do that? And then I'll offend people. And they have this internal battle back and forth, versus just like doing it. Like, if you notice, like, someone told me I spelled demonstration wrong on my slide, which is hilarious. And like, I don't care. Like, I just go do it. And if I mess up, whatever. And if I offend someone, I don't care. Like, whatever. So go do it.
Just go do it.
So, you're an entrepreneur. It's clear to see you've built businesses, you've sold businesses. You're an entrepreneur. Is this the story of? Do you have brothers and sisters?
No, I was so perfect. My parents, did not need another one. No. Like, I think that they were so disappointed. They were like, I don't want to try it again.
So you're an only child.
I'm the only child.
And now, were your parents entrepreneurs, or were they more of the corporate?
No, my mom was a school teacher, an art teacher. My dad was a banker. Yeah. So my grandfather was a carpenter for his own business. So that was like the first entrepreneur.
So who inspired you to go down the path you went on? I mean, my background is, I come from very traditional parents. And of course, nothing wrong with that, right? Not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur or a business owner. And I mean, thank God, because, whew.
Yeah, we got enough. Yeah. And then, I think, like you were saying, the entrepreneurs are kind of glorified now. Like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this. We'll see if we can get him up to your hotel room.
You help us do that?
Get him up here? I'm not going to be part of that one. I'll try my best. But I'm like, Gary, go up to their hotel. They'll be like, you're crazy. Like,
once we tell them you were here,
I won't be able to buy the jets. They'll kill me all. But I don't even know what I was saying now. You guys got me distracted.
No, I think you were just going to elaborate on, the fact that not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah. It's like, it's either this or nothing. That's kind of, I think, the best entrepreneurs are. Like, you're so disgusted for working for someone else that it pushes you to create your own thing. Like, I could never imagine going work for anybody else again, ever. Like, it makes me want to throw up.
So on your down days where, because, obviously, whether you're an entrepreneur, you work for corporate America, you have, the days when you're on cloud nine, and you have those days where, you just don't want to get out of bed. But, I think as an entrepreneur, all the more that hits you because you are, to some people, you are the business. If you don't do anything, the business doesn't do anything. Yeah. Right. So how do you handle the down days? How do you?
I just remember a quote from Arthur Ashe. I grew up playing tennis. It was like, or I think it was Arthur Ashe. I don't know. I might butcher it, but it was like, you can't fly if the wind's not in your face, right? So like, if you don't have challenges, you're never going to appreciate, the wins. Like both my sons are incredible athletes, and I mean, my youngest son went to the Junior Olympics, and he got 8th. Out of the whole nation, and he was pissed. And I'm like, I'm glad you got 8th. Like, you need to learn to lose. Like, you are used to winning all this, and life's not going to be that. You're not going to win all the time. And so you just got to learn from, the failures, and then, you just appreciate things more. It's kind of like those people with silver spoons. Like, they don't appreciate the stuff or the opportunities that they have because they don't remember. They've never had to go through the other stuff. So, I have to remind myself, I mean, we have bad days, we have bad months, sometimes we have bad years. You're just like, all right, what can I learn from this? How can I move on and do something different?
And how do you know when you've gotten to that point? You said earlier, a lot of times entrepreneurs give up too soon. Yeah. There's also the other end of that where you can just keep trying, and it's just one more month, and I can take out this another loan or get another credit card to make payroll this month. Yeah. And there's a lot of depression there, as I think you talked about earlier in your talk today. What advice do you have for people as to when it is time to just call it quits?
I think everybody's different. I mean, I got close to calling it quits, but I just kind of I moved past that. I think it's about if you figure out if you truly have passion for it and you truly believe it's going to work, keep doing it. But when you start losing that passion, so like part of my career after I sold the agency, I started this iPhone app. It takes pictures of everything you eat, gives you a visualization. I hated it. Like, I wouldn't even want to take pictures of my food. Right? So
why did you start it to begin with?
I thought it was a cool idea. And I was focused on all right, I sold my business for big time, but I want to go after the billion mark. And Instagram just got bought for $1 billion, so I went into the whole wrong way. And I was talking to an agency owner below, and he was like, my why is to create $100 million company. I'm like, how is anybody else going to get along with that one? Yeah. Like, they just want to make you rich? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like that's not going to work. Like, no one's going to do that. Like, you have to find your why, your passion, and then go for it. And you truly know it when it's over. Like, I hated that. I was like, I hate taking photos, and I'm the creator of it. I was like, it needs to die.
It was doomed from the beginning.
So as Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank would say, you took it behind the shed and killed it.
Shot it, yes.
Did you give it a proper burial, though?
Yes.
You did.
Well, no, I think I just deleted it from the App Store, so just got rid of it.
What was the name of this app?
Goal Vader.
Goal Vader.
Goal Vader. Yeah.
That's I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. Well, it's for your goals, and then I like Star Wars, so I put
Goal.
So
Okay.
it's just
Vader. I mean,
That's
that's why I
awesome.
named my kid Luke, so I could be like, Luke, I'm your father.
so. I mean, we've all had failures like that. I mean, would you classify that as a failure?
It was a
or
learning
experience.
Learning experience.
What would you say is the number one thing you learned from that?
Do stuff to help. Well, do stuff that you're passionate about. Because I wasn't passionate about it. I was just thinking about it for the money. And I always laughed at people that had money that would tell me, don't focus on the money. They're like, yeah, it's easy. You got money, dumbass. Right? Like, I'm like, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Like, because people can see it. Like, you know, and maybe you guys have seen it like on stages. Like, there's certain people that always pitch like the whole time.
Right.
And you just like, yeah. Like, I kind of feel dirty leaving your speech.
Right.
Like, it's just like, and you can kind of tell like the people that try to give it all and be like, I hope you go do this. Like Gary Vaynerchuk's a great example, right? He wants you to pay attention to him and that kind of stuff. Like, he thrives off that significance, but you know, he really doesn't care if you do anything. He's like, I don't care if you ever buy from me. I don't care if you buy my sneakers or whatever. And I respect him for that. Right.
So Jason, if I just met you and I don't know anything about you, right? And you had the chance to leave a lasting impact on me.
Oh God.
What would you do? What would you say?
The best advice is never do a podcast in a bedroom.
Too late. Moving on.
I know. So this is my lesson that I've learned.
I want to tell the audience, if someone asks you to do a podcast, ask them
Probably-
where before you say
Probably
yes.
say no. No, it's been great.
Awesome, Jason. Well, where can our audience find you if they want to learn more about you?
So just go to my website, jasonswank.com, or you can go to my favorite URL, swank.it, and it's spelled SWENK.
Swank.it. I love it.
Yeah, you get links to both shows. I have two podcasts. I have a Swank Today show, where it's like a weekly YouTube show, and then the other one is interview style, kind of like this, not in the bedroom.
Not in the bedroom. You
in the
heard that. If you want a podcast that's not in the bedroom.
No, I think but you have something here unique, right? Like, and I hope you guys actually do more in the bedroom, because I think
Wow, I feel so dirty
that
right now,
sounds
Jason.
really bad, but it's just so different. It can stand out. And I'm glad I was. Oh God, I'm just.
You were our first, Jason.
Oh, it's so bad. This should be the thumbnail.
That's
Like
perfect.
me with my hand over my head.
Jason, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, dude. Thank you so much for for the time. Really,
Thanks for not killing me yet.
We're not done yet.
We're just gonna close out here, and you may not
So
get out. So
Joey, turn off the cameras and
everybody say
Thanks
bye
for
to
tuning
Jason
in.
while he's still breathing. But seriously though, dude, thank you so much. Any last comments for the audience before we check out?
Just remember, be consistent and patient. That's the biggest thing.
Consistent and patient, and we'll end it there.